the know-how of knowledge. I went live yesterday around, when was it? It was in the daytime. And I thought, you know what, let me go live after people have come from work. So now it's just 10 to 6 here. So I thought, let me go live and we can have a little discussion. Because why not? I think it's important for us to have these conversations because what happens is that by us having these conversations, we are able to, you know, see other viewpoints. Um, I was thinking back actually. I have a friend who we debate philosophy and trying to disprove religion. Let me unplug my earphones. Trying to disprove religion. And one of those days we're having a chat. Um, and I asked a question, and I'm like, hey, do you really care? Or why do you care about religion so much? If it's not real, then don't follow it. Don't look into it. It's anyway, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. But today we are going to have a little conversation about culture. I believe that culture often plays a negative part when it comes to religion. I do. I think we need to have a open conversation about culture and about the realities of why culture is the main reason people leave the church. If somebody was born in a Christian context, and if that person chooses to leave, then the reality is this: the biggest reason why they chose to leave almost always is because of people. I don't often hear people saying that I was in a community who loved me, cared about me, supported me, uplifted me, prayed for me, and I left because God is not real. Oftentimes, people leave because they struggle to see God in people. And a lot of things that I found recently is that people like to hide behind culture. They do. They do. They like to hide behind it. And I think that's one of the downfalls that I've seen in terms of why I believe that we really need to have a conversation about it. There are certain things that I care about. They are. I care quite a bit about how I affect people around me. That is something that I really, really care about. I also care a lot about the view I give to people about religion. You know, religion really has a bad name. And I think that if we look at the history of where a lot of the different religious beliefs started from, you can see that culture is always a big part of it. It is. Culture seems to play a very big part in religion. It does. And I think the part for me that I really find interesting is if you look back at Judaism, which is modern day Christianity, I'll go into it a bit more. What you will find is that every religion has a hint of culture in it. Hello, Universal Gamer. Welcome. I have Tanjay Matka 7979. Welcome. Thank you for saying hi. So every religious belief system has got culture in it. And I believe that the reasons why people leave religions is because of their cultural element. I think that is one of the biggest reasons why people leave religions. I am being honest with you guys. Look at every major religion: Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism. A lot of their belief systems and teachings are based upon culture. And especially when you start looking into individual groups within the individual religions, what you will find is that within these individual belief systems, they are different because of culture. They are different because of how they interpret information. What am I doing today? Talking about culture and religion and how these two should not be connected. I believe that for a religious organization or a religious movement to be successful, you have to strip it of culture. Maybe this is radical. Maybe this is something that most people don't want to hear. But why do we have thousands of different Christians? Or even in different religions, there's different belief systems. It's mainly because of culture. It's a fact. It's a fact. I don't think culture is a bad thing, but the issue is a lot of cultures love to put religion into their culture, and they like to put culture in their religions, so it becomes one messy thing. They should be separate. Culture and religion should be separate. I know it sounds almost difficult to do, but the reason why people leave the church or leave different belief systems is because, listen, if you if somebody comes to you and they tell you the way you are living your life is wrong because of what I believe, but their belief is not based upon what their religious texts say, like the Bible, but they're based upon what religious people have done or how they have been raised, that kind of goes against their religion. Because, oh, I got a few comments, by the way. um what is it? I have, what am I doing today? I'm going live. He looks a bit happy with his signs. Well, thank you. Finally, no brain rot. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. Give an example. Okay, I will give an example on why culture is a bad thing, right? I'm going to give you an example in terms of Christianity. So, in a lot of African cultures, music has a lot to play into culture versus religion. So, for example, a lot of Southern African people will believe that the way you play music in a Christian context determines if you're doing worship correct. If in a Christian sense, God will accept it. So, in a Southern African context, you will not hear drums being played. All you will hear is a piano. You will hear mainly instrumentals such as the violin or the piano, because they believe that certain instruments, because of how they are played, how they sound, are better for worship versus others are noise and it's bad. And maybe the cultural context is that certain instruments historically were used for very negative connotations, doing negative beliefs. But if we look carefully at what the Bible says, I'm giving you an example. You've asked for example, limbo, limbo face. If we look at the Bible, it doesn't specify saying these instruments are good, these instruments are bad. It doesn't even say that certain ways of playing them are good or bad, right? It gives you a guide. What culture does is that cultures take the guide and say, you know what, let's add on to the religious belief system to say, you know what, the Bible says we should be playing music to worship God. And maybe in that culture, everybody takes worshiping God, as in you have to sing very quietly, very softly with a piano and a guitar in the background. But if you use drums, that's evil. When the Bible never says that. Culture likes to take the good elements of community and add it with religion. And the issue that I find is that oftentimes when somebody is raised in an element where culture and religion are synonymous or they almost have the same weight, if you break a cultural belief, you're almost breaking a religious belief. If you do something that goes against the culture but it doesn't go against the Bible, people will still look at you like, what's wrong with you? They will look at you like you've done the worst religious thing possible. This is why I'm saying that culture and religion need to be separated. I'll tell you why, right? If we look in the Bible, God says this: I am God, I change not. I don't know about other belief systems, right? But this is the fact. If the teachings of a religious system like Christianity are meant to stand forever, it means that they are applicable to multiple cultures. The issue I found with culture is that everybody thinks they are right. That's why I think we need to remove culture or clearly distinguish when something is culture, when something is religious, right? I've been raised up in a Christian context, and I hear people telling me you have to do certain things because it's religious. That's a lie. It's culture. For example, I'll give you a few pointers where people think things are religious, but they're actually cultural. For example, some people would say you can't eat meat. You can only be vegetarian or vegan because that's the only religious way to live. No, there are different ways to eat healthily whilst including meat. But is that the only way? No, it's not. Those are cultural contexts, right? Again, I spoke about the music element. Some cultures will be like, if music doesn't sound like this, it's not real music. Other cultures, they'll say, if the drum isn't playing and people aren't dancing, it's not real worship. This is my belief, right? If we are to take religious books, religious teachings seriously, we have to remove culture because the thing is, right, if a religion, let's say if you right now were transported 300 years ago and experienced a religious experience in the same religion you are currently in, I guarantee you it would be different. Christians 300 years ago did not play music the same way we play music. Christians 300 years ago did not dress the same way we dressed. Christians 1,000 years ago did not live the same way we live. So, yes, I believe that we need to remove culture from religion because the fact is, you can only do one or the other. You can either decide to say, you know what, I am going to follow the religious teachings that I have in front of me, be it Christian, Sikhism, Hinduism. I'm not saying that every religion is right. I'm just saying that if you want to take religion seriously in the way that you worship, you can't use culture because the cultural context will change based upon the demographic around you, based upon your geographic location, and based upon the times you live in. It does. If you've ever traveled this world, I'll tell you this: you will quickly see that by going to different places in the world, people view religion differently. If you open the Bible, the King James, New International, whatever book, right? And you take that to different places, they will interpret key information very differently because of their cultural context. And I think this has been hardwired into us. I do. I think it's definitely been hardwired into us to be able to take information like this. So if you bring a Bible, oh, I got Apex saying hi, hi there. For you who are come right now, I am talking about religion and culture, and why culture is bad for religion. That we should remove culture from religion because a lot of people try and use culture to say this is religious when really that's not how religion works. I'm a Jew. Thank you. So, as a Jew, right, I need you, your religion is Judaism. Thank you for your comment, right? So, as a Jew, you tell me, do you have certain belief systems that you have seen that are not based upon the Torah, but are based upon teachings, upon community teachings? Tell me, I want to know your thoughts. Does that exist in the Jewish community? It does not exist. So are you telling me that in your community, every teaching that exists is only from the Torah? There's no teachings that are so close to being in the Torah that people actually think that they are as important as what is in the Torah. Please, I want to know your comments down below. Oh, you mean yes, yes. Okay, perfect. I agree. Uh, Can you give me an example? I'm curious. You know, um, they are Psalms, Talmud. I see. So I'm guessing these are, I know the Psalms, from my understanding, the Torah is the Old Testament. So the Psalms are in the Torah, like the Talmud. Oh, I got a few more comments. Hello. I don't know how to describe it. That's fine. So I'm guessing these are teachings that are maybe accepted in Judaism, right? But they are new teachings, right? Or they're not new teachings, but people treat them like they are teachings from the Torah. They are more like guidelines, right? Because we don't believe Jesus is God. I understand. I know that Judaism don't believe that Jesus is God. Um, Only a person. I understand that. So, would you say like stuff like that? You would classify that as these being not what the Torah says, but they are what culturally, or not culturally, what has been taught, saying, okay, this is a cultural belief system. Please educate me about Judaism. I don't know much about it. I know about Christianity, a bit about Hinduism and Sikhism, but not really about Judaism. So please educate me. But the theme is this: I think that in every religious belief system, dude, it's hard. I eat kosher. You know what? So do I. I eat kosher too. And for those guys that don't know what kosher is following the Old Testament diet that was given to Israel. So that is, you eat meat that has a split hoof, like cows and goats, that chews its cud. That means it can chew its food, store it, eat it later, and chew it again. For fish, it has to have fins and scales, so you can't have prawns, crabs, you can't eat scavengers. Um, for birds, they can't have webbed feet, so you can't have like all these um, ducks or pigeons. It has to be like chickens or is it pheasant count? I don't know exactly, but it's a very particular diet. It's about clean food and unclean food. Um, 1 second. I have a few. Wow, thank you, Alex, for your comments below. Let me see what you're saying. I can't eat meat after milk. Yeah, my friend says I am. I can't say that word every day. because of the war. Um, in my school, they fight with because you're Jewish. So people are fighting you because you're Jewish. That's not right. It's not right for people to fight you because of your belief system. That's not right. That actually Torah. It does. It does. Um, but in terms, so by the way, thank you for coming in. 10 people jumped you all because of what you believed in. That's not right. That's not right. You know what? This is the stuff I hate. Yes, I'm going to say hate. This is the stuff I hate because it shows immaturity. When somebody is immature, what they would do is they would judge somebody based upon their religious beliefs. And what they would do is they will put people in a box. Dumb people, I'm going to call them dumb, those who jumped you, dumb people don't know how to think. They don't know how to have open conversations. They don't. I'm sorry, they don't know how to have open conversations. So they'll put you in a box. They will follow their friends and they will do stupid things. They will believe that just because you were raised and you believe in a very particular set of beliefs, it means now that you embody extreme behaviors. That's not right. That's not right. So yeah, I'm sure that happened to you. But my mom and dad um, said never use violence, and I agree. The Torah says if somebody, what is it? Well, I don't know the exact verse in the Old Testament, but uh, as I know, a Jewish belief system is that you can't fight back. It's God's job to do the judgment, right? And you know what? If we look historically, Jews have been persecuted. They have. And part of it is like the moment you react and you fight back, you are now sending a message to say, okay, this is acceptable. This is okay. It's never okay. I don't want to get into the beliefs between Israel and Palestine, all this and that. This is not about politics. What I am saying is that it is wrong for somebody to attack you on your belief system based upon where you're from. Thank you for joining. We're talking about culture and religion. We are talking about how culture should not be included in religion because if we look at the historical account, religion should never change. It shouldn't change. Yes, religion is progressive in terms of we will always keep learning, but the truth is, when it comes to culture is based upon your physical location and who raised you. And because that keeps on changing, people oftentimes believe that culture is almost as important as religion because people are raised with both and they sometimes combine them. That's what we are talking about. Do you mean Christianity? Yes and no. Christianity, Judaism, Sikhism, or racism. I'm talking about religion mainly. In religion, I think that people's upbringing and culture should not determine what they do in their worship, and they shouldn't use that to judge other people. The reason I'm saying this is this, right? I know people that have left religion because somebody would tell them stuff about the Bible and about God and say that God said this, so you are wrong, or you are a bad person because you do this or act this way, right? And the truth is, that's a bad thing. Let me go back to comments. Do you mean Christianity? Judaism too, dude. I'm a Jew. Yes, Jew. Today 10 because I'm a Jew. Jeez, where are you located, by the way? Are you located in the UK? Are you located in America, Europe? Um, and by the way, thank you for commenting. And please subscribe. This channel is an open platform to have a conversation. You're in Poland. Poland, I know historically Poland um, had very strong religious belief systems. I know there was a big debate about 30, 40 years ago between Protestants and Catholics, and you couldn't even go there as a Protestant. So I know that it still has elements of that historical account. So I can see how in Poland somebody can come and treat you in an unhuman manner. This is people treating you like you're not human. That's not right. That's cowardly. That's weak. I love your conversations. You reduce my stress. I'm glad I do. I'm glad I do. It's a coward. These people are cowards. Cowards use their fists. It takes strength to talk to someone you disagree with. It does. So I'm going to ask you guys in the comment section, if you guys are not cowards, ask me any question, any religious questions. I might not know the answer. What cowards do is that they hide, or they attack people like they have done to you, Apex, right? And they don't come and have the conversation. What they do is they use their ignorance to say, okay, that's all I know. We have to be people who are able to have conversations. We have to be. So please comment down below. If you're not a coward, please comment down below. Because I'm sick and tired of all these cowards attacking you, Apex, but also attacking people in general. If you don't know something and you're ignorant, ask. So feel free to ask the questions. For real, I'm from Poland. Yeah, Poland. It's a beautiful country, but everywhere you go, you're gonna have some bad people. So I'm not saying Poland is a bad place. It's beautiful, but there's always gonna be some people that will have bad intentions. So yeah, thank you for commenting. But please ask any questions. Do you have any Christian questions for me? Or just any questions in time? Um, please, any questions, feel free, ask. This platform allows you the chance to ask me any questions. I might not know the answer, but I am more than happy to have the conversations. You know what? In the last couple lives, I've been asked about being transgender. I've been asked about the Bible, religion. I've been asked about alcohol. I've been asked about heaven or hell. So please feel free to ask me any questions down below. I am more than happy to have a discussion. I see there's a comment here talking about anti Semitism. Yeah, I think attacking anybody for their religious beliefs is wrong, regardless of their beliefs. That's not right. I think that's illegal, actually, technically. So yeah, it's not right. Hey, you're back. Thank you. Ask me any questions. I am more than happy. If you want, I can go through some of the questions I've been asked before, so we can have a conversation about it. Um, they are very interesting. Um, do you respect everyone no matter what? No, I don't. I don't respect everyone no matter what. Oh, you have a question too? Ask as well. Feel free to ask. Um, I don't respect everyone no matter what. Respect and love are different. My job as a Christian is to love somebody. What is love? Love is treating them like myself. So if somebody does bad to me as a Christian, my duty is to still treat them like I'm treating myself, to show care and to show that they are still loved. But respect is different. Respect is earned. And respect, it takes a lifetime to gain it, and it takes a moment to lose it. For me to get respect, or for me to look at someone and say, I respect you, it's when somebody does something difficult. Or I will look at it this way: when people who have been raised in a certain mindset choose to challenge it, I respect that. For example, if somebody has been raised Christian and they have done the research and decided to leave Christianity. I respect that decision. What I don't respect is when people stay in what they were raised in without looking to ask the question. I'm going to say this: for you to earn that respect, you have to be able to justify every belief system you have. If you believe in something, you need to tell me the reason why you believe in it. And if you tell me it's because I was raised in it and my parents told me, I'm sorry, I struggle to respect that, especially in a religious context. Because it has to be more than that. It has to be based upon something that's more than that. So, yes, I will not respect anyone no matter what. I will respect you if you have been able to be brave enough to ask the question, to be like, let's have a conversation. That's respect. Um, my mom said respect everyone no matter what. Yes, in terms of I understand your mom's context, and if she told you that, feel free to do that. For me, respect is earned, not given, which means that even the people closest to me have to earn my respect. Because for me, it's like I will always love people. Love is an action. Love is what you do. You will be talking nice. They will shout at you, they will beat you, they will abuse you, but you will show them kindness. You will be nice to people, right? Respect is how you think about the person internally, in terms of, are you going to go to them for advice? Are you going to look at what they do and admire that? Right? That's respect. So if somebody does bad to me, am I gonna be like, wow, they've done me bad, I respect that? No, I don't respect it. I will love you, but I won't respect it. They are very different. Respect is based upon the actions you have done. Have I seen that you have the character of a person who is willing to do the hard work? Right? If the answer is no, I don't respect you. I will love you, I will care about you, but I won't respect you. You have to earn it. Um, Dude, am I disobey boy? I'm going to a special school. I am autistic. Well, thank you for commenting and sharing about your journey. You're saying you're autistic, so thank you for commenting down below. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna sub. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. It does mean a lot that you're able to come here and subscribe. And whenever you subscribe, it actually does something. Actually, what it does is that it tells YouTube to promote my channel. It tells YouTube to say, hey, you know what? This channel, the know-how of knowledge, is worth looking into. So yeah, so let's go back to our topic. We are talking, oh, and you said my teacher said I won't be anything in life. That's a lie. That's a lie. Um, in religion, there's a few belief systems. People believe in a thing called predestination. What that means is that they believe that your future is already written, that based upon the past, that they can determine your future. And yes, the future is a great determining factor for your future. But the Bible, you said you're Jewish, the Torah speaks against predestination. Yes, God can know the future, but he allows us to make changes to the future. What that means is that the choices you make today will determine who you're going to be tomorrow. If you choose to sleep late today, you're going to wake up tired tomorrow. Does that mean you are always meant to wake up tired tomorrow? No. This means this, right? The person you're going to be in the future will be determined by the choices you choose to make today, Apex. So when your teacher says you won't be anything in life, you decide that, not your teacher. You do. You decide, are you going to be something? I know that obviously God plays a big part in it, but the choices you make determine where you're going to be in life. Of course, God also guides you through it, but it means that I'll tell you about me. I'll tell you about me. So that you know that it's possible. When I was younger, I used to play in school quite a bit. I wasn't the class clown, but what I was doing was that I thought it was fun to not focus in school, to struggle. Like I had problems in terms of learning, and I chose to not take the work seriously because I thought I would not amount to anything. Because I would look at people who are around me and I'm like, they are all above me in terms of smart. They're all so smart and I'm dumb. I'm very, very dumb. There is no way I'm gonna succeed. But then something changed. I realized that in a couple years' time, everybody I know in this school, I will never see again. If you are in secondary school, for example, by the time you leave, it's very unlikely that you will see every single person again. So I made a choice to say, you know what? Because when I leave, I'm going to go to a new place where nobody will know me. I am going to try my best to just challenge the notion that I'm dumb. So I studied. So I changed the friends I followed. I made friends with the nerds. I made friends, or I became friends with the people that nobody would talk to. And eventually, I finished school with okay grades. I then went to college and I played again. And I did badly. But then I went to university and I took it seriously. And guess what? I did very well. But one thing I realized is that when I began to work, Apex, right? When I began to work, I met people who didn't study hard, who were really bad at education. And guess who they were? They were my bosses. They were my boss's bosses. The people that struggled the most in education were the ones who were in charge of me. And I'm the one who studied and worked hard in education. So it's true. It's true. A lot of the bosses that I have had did badly in education because people lie to you. The skills they teach you in school are not always the same skills you will use when you go to work. So you are right. Your teacher might be right to say that you might not amount to anything in terms of education. But that doesn't matter because success is not based upon the level of education you get. It's based upon what you choose to do with what you have. There is people who I know who are bad at education who can't write an essay and they're making double what I'm making because they have a skill. My advice to you, Apex, is find a skill that you are good at. If you're good at talking, if you're good at music, if you're good at singing, if you're good at basketball, I played basketball since high school. Find something you are good at, right? And get either a job in it or find people that also enjoy it. And I guarantee your life will change. Because the thing is, if you focus on what you're good at, eventually people will pay you for it. And eventually you will feel like you're not the dumbest person in the room. I promise you. Even now that I have all my education, right? People are smarter than me. Not because they did what I did. They are smarter because of the way their brain works. Having autism is actually a superpower sometimes because you're able to hyper focus on specific things. And I'll tell you an example. In a job I've worked before, right? The people that were like technical people, the people that were like the highest paid people that were able to know everything about one topics. Sometimes they are called architects. If you want, just research architects. Not in terms of like building, but in you can be an architect in anything, right? Those are people that because of their way their brain worked, maybe they, as you said, you had autism, maybe they had autism, they were able to hyper focus and they became the most knowledgeable person. So you know what? You're gonna succeed. All you gotta do is find the thing you're good in and focus on it. And I guarantee you, some of those guys that jumped you, they'll be looking to you for a job one day. They will. It always happens. Trust me. Trust me. I love your response. Dude, you made my day. Oh, you're welcome. I'm not gonna lie to you. What I'm telling you is based upon experience. I'm not just telling you stories. I have seen this to my face. Trust me, you will succeed. You will. You will. Marvelous. But hey, any questions you have, please feel free to ask. This is your chance. Feel free to ask any questions you do have. What did I answer before? I answered about respect. Um, that was fine. Do you like Christianity in any way? Yes, I like Christianity. I am a Christian. And I'll tell you why I'm a Christian. I am not a Christian because I was raised in Christianity, even though that's true, yes, I was raised in it. I am a Christian because at around 17, 18, I made a choice. And this is why I love Christianity. Christianity is basically saying I am choosing to live my life to follow what Christ did. I know Apex, you're Jewish, I'm Christian. So for me personally, I choose to follow Jesus. And I believe that Jesus is God. Um, that's my Christian context. Does that mean I'm right or I'm wrong? It doesn't matter because it's my belief, not yours. So I like Christianity because for me, Christianity allows me to be open in terms of asking questions. It's one of the only religions where you are encouraged to ask questions. I know that people, that's what I'm talking about culture. Culture often says don't ask questions. The reason why I love being a Christian is you are encouraged to say, hey, ask the hard questions. Is God real? Why can't I drink? Why why does bad happen to good people? Am I wrong in my belief systems? This is why I love being a Christian because it allows you the chance to ask the questions. And I think we've lost that. We've lost that ability to ask questions, and people are losing faith in God because they are looking at what a Christian is and they're saying it's people who are stuck up. It's people that don't want to be able to have hard conversations. I'm going to say this. If you can't defend what you believe, you don't believe in it. When I say defend, I mean that not everything has an answer. But if you are not able to say, I'm going to die on my belief systems, it's not worth believing in. It's not. It's not. My name is Max. But whatever. Oh, sorry, you're on YouTube. Your name is saying Apex, but thank you for saying Max. Nice to meet you, Max. I can now say your name properly. Thank you for coming to my live. Honestly, thank you for subscribing. I respect you, and it's fine. Thank you. Um, do we need police officers? What do you mean by that, Mr. Hitman? Um, do we need police officers? In what context you mean? In terms of like in our society? Do we need them in religious contexts? Do we need them in education? Help me clarify these questions. I'm very curious. Do we need religion? Do we need them to protect us? Okay. Yes, I believe that we need police. Police play a vital role, but I also understand that depending on who you are and depending on your experience with the police, you will think differently. Now, before the police existed, the military always existed. The police came out of the military because if we go back even thousands of years ago, the the job of the military was to protect the interests of what the leader has put in place. And uh, in this world, there's bad people. But also, it's funny. I was watching a video today that was talking about why people don't do bad things. And this person spoke of three reasons. The first reason was that if you do something bad, there is a physical issue that happens, which means you get arrested, you go to jail, and you struggle to find work. The second reason was religious, that you believe that God will punish you and that the people in your community will look bad at you. Um, and the third reason was the social element, which is that the people around you, even if they're not religious, will look down on you. So if we remove police, we are removing the consequence. And the thing is, right, if there is no punishment or there is no law for people to be punished on, then anybody can do anything. Bad people can do very bad things. What happens when somebody wants to harm you? What happens when somebody wants to harm your community? What happens when somebody has bad intentions for you? If there is no police and there's no consequence for that, then what's stopping them? Social pressure? What happens when somebody doesn't care? When they're like, you know what? I don't care about my community. I don't care about the religious implications. I'm going to act. If there's no one to stop you, people will start acting in very interesting ways. Yes, I know that historically there have been people and communities that have done just fine without having the police, but they have been self-policed. There are people that police themselves. So I understand that, you know what, um, we can as a community police ourselves. Oh, I have a few comments saying bro, 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 bro. Thank you for commenting. You've subbed. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for subscribing. You don't know how much this means. Honestly, I really appreciate it. So, we do need the police. The police are needed. If we tried to police ourselves, what would we use as a measure of bad and good? Yes, I know the police have their own measure of bad and good, and that's not always perfect, but it's a start. It's a start. If if there is no measure of bad and good, that is a generic measure, then people will just say, you know what, I don't think this is bad, and do it. Others will be like, I think it's bad. Who determines good and bad? If a society is going to police itself, oftentimes the society will fail because it needs something that is in place that is able to protect everybody. Yeah, sorry for not doing it earlier, dude. You deserve, um, once again, you deserve in this world missing people like you. Thank you very much. You know what? Before I began this channel, I really didn't know if it would actually do well. And one thing I said is that I wanted to build a community of people that would be able to have an open conversation, not just hide behind their screens, but have hard conversations. I've had people tell me about being transgender, about being gay. I've had conversations like yourselves, Max, about religions. I have had chats about many things. So thank you for subscribing, and for other people who are also watching, please subscribe. If you subscribe, it tells YouTube that, you know what, this is something that needs to be watched. This is something that we need to push out, and we can have more conversations. And the beauty of you subscribing is, the more you subscribe, the more people join, which means you can now have conversations, Max, and other people, with like minded people in the chat. And you can build friendships in the chat. So I am going to do this then. I am going to let you know. Actually, no, forget that. I'm going to ask you, what should be my next topic? I am going to go live again tomorrow. So I need you to let me know what my next topic should be for tomorrow. I talk about religion quite a bit, so it can be in the religious context. It can be about philosophy. It can be about work, like we spoke about, people being successful not because of what they get on paper, but being successful in terms of what they choose to do with their skills. So please, I want you guys to comment down below what you guys would want me to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to give it back to you. I have an idea, but I want you guys to, feel like this is a conversation. It's a community. So I'm going to go live again tomorrow at around the same time. So please feel free to come back tomorrow, and together we'll be able to have these questions and talk about them. Let me just see. Give me 1 minute. Let me see. Is there any topics you want me to guys to do? I have a comment saying I hit almost 1,000 subscribers. I have 900. You know what? I'm gonna subscribe to you after this. That way you are able to get a subscriber. Um, 1 second. I myself am quite interested in space and oceans, and maybe one of these two. I don't know. Really? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's fine. You know what? I'm going to speak about space and the oceans tomorrow. That's it. So tune in tomorrow and we'll talk about space. But thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you tomorrow. Peace.